Hey guys, BlackCross here, and welcome back to another Backlogs video review, guys. Today's game is going to be two games, and it's actually from the same series known as Styx. I first played through the second one, technically, and then eventually I decided to go ahead and shortly afterwards, beating it, play the first one. But of course the titles are Styx, Master of Shadows, and the sequel, Styx, Shard of Darkness. So, what is Styx? Well, short answer, he's a goblin thief. That's basically the short answer. But the long answer is that basically he's this goblin that has multiple abilities thanks to things known as amber, as well as quartz, which is featured in the second one, that gives him unique abilities and powers. And he's able to use all sorts of gadgets and all sorts of stealth moves to be able to get through the areas as needed. That's kind of the straightforward answer, and the reason why this review may seem a little bit short is because really these games are not that big in depth. But what I will say is that for the lack of detailed review, these games are amazing in my personal opinion. First of all, I love Styx. Styx is a unique and hilarious character. Now keep in mind, I played through the second one first, but then whenever we played through the first one, while it wasn't as funny as the second one, the first one is still charming and still enjoyable in my personal opinion, and despite it being slightly dated, keep in mind that did come out in 2014 versus the sequel that came out in 2017, so there are going to be some subtle differences here and there between the two games. That being said though, the environments are amazing. If I had to describe the gameplay, it would be a puzzle platformer with stealth elements, and that's basically simple that it can be. You have the ability to hide behind corners, hide in like pots or closets, small openings that only a goblin-sized creature could fit through and stuff like that, and basically try to survive against like the humans, the orcs, or the elves and dwarves, depending on the game and depending on the races that you're going to be going against and everything like that. In the first one, you don't have that many different tools, but some of them are very unique to help you. Like for example, throwing knives, being able to use the amber to help you with invisibility, or to create clones to cause distractions, or to kind of go through gates in order to get into other areas that ordinarily he himself cannot get through. And of course, as you continue to go through the game, you'll go through different levels and getting skill points. And these skill points can be changed out at any time to get different abilities. You're not locked into any particular build whatsoever. You can change out into like whatever particular ability you favor more towards, as opposed to one other ability that you may not favor into as much, which is very interesting. I really like this element. This also carries through into the second one, but with a few more extra tweaks. For example, you have a acid trap, which can be very helpful in cases in which where there's a guard that's roaming around the area, and really you can't quite stealth into it because there's another guard on the opposite end of the room. So you could just lay this trap, kill him, and then if the guard happens to notice it and looks to inspect, while he's inspecting, you could just sneak in for a kill attack, which is very interesting. I love the level of creativity that this game has. But the world environment is what made it so interesting to me. The world environment are so heavily detailed. They're littered with like all sorts of ways to climb around the area or to sneak past guards and stuff like that. And really, despite the fact that it's a small game, it doesn't encourage you to rush through the game. Yes, there are some like special bonuses, like being able to get through the level as fast as possible, no kills whatsoever, no detection, but really you're not enticed to try to push out that way in order to get it, at least not in one go, which is nice. If you wanted to, you can go back through the previous levels and try to go and improve in some certain areas and eventually get that particular one. And I love that. I love the fact that it doesn't say, oh, you have to try to do all of it in one go. No, you can eventually do one versus the other versus another, and it keeps track of all the different particular points and stuff like that that you were able to acquire. There may be some side quests, side missions and stuff that give you extra points, but ultimately they're not actually that mandatory. It just depends on if you want to have more abilities or more unique traits that may help you in the game and stuff like that. And I really love that. I love the fact that it gives you that freedom to kind of explore your area, explore Styx, and to figure out what abilities you prefer most, as opposed to just running straight forward into the game and just trying to fight it out and stuff like that. Styx by himself is not actually a major fighter, because unfortunately the only way you can fight in this game is through parrying. As a guard or an elf tries to attack you, you have to parry the attack and in a timely manner. That being said though, depending on the guard slash elf slash orc, you can't technically kill every enemy. There are certain enemies that may be heavy in armor or that are like more powerful than Styx, and they will just straight up one-shot him. So really, in all honesty, fighting may not be the best method to go with. That's why you have to have these unique abilities, these different traits that can help you. For example, there's abilities in which where when you create your clone, as it gets destroyed, it creates like a smoke effect, which allows you to sneak past the guards and stuff like that. So ultimately, it's very creative in the sense of how you can stealth through the game. And the way that I see it, if you were to play through the game over and over and over, you can have a different effect of how you can tackle on the stealth mission itself. You can either run past everything, or you can go as stealthy as possible and no one will ever find you. The second one, however, though, there's a lot more comedic elements, especially when you die a lot. And I will say that you will be dying a lot. Mostly it's just trial and error, trying to see what works and what doesn't work. But for every single time you die, Styx will have some form of comment to go along with it. I have so many personal favorites of mine. My favorite would be of the following right here.
Hey, I hear there's an Easter egg that gives you the address of the level designer who put that freaking hole there. Did you stream that? I want a percentage on your best goblin death compilation. Be skilled or not be skilled? That is the question. And fuck you is the answer. Newsflash. The jump button is not located between your ass cheeks. Maybe it is for you, I don't know. Ordering a double pepperoni pizza with extra cheese, please. This is gonna take time.
What I found the most interesting though, and this isn't even the part of the review, this is just a comment that I found out whenever I was like looking into the games and stuff like that. I found out that technically the third game is coming out this year. Yes, there's a third game called Styx, The Blades of Greed. And I didn't know that. I was like, oh, there's a third game coming out this fall? That's pretty cool. Obviously, as of right now, it hasn't come out yet, and there hasn't been a major update as to like when technically it will be released. But as soon that gets released, I will eventually do a review on that one as well. But more than likely, it'll probably be the same elements that I have with Styx by itself, but with a few more enhancements, with a few more extra moves and stuff like that Styx can do. For example, in the third game, it looks like you can mind control guards, and that you can also parachute. It feels, as I described it to Delmar, it feels like a Sly Cooper game in a way, except it's like Deadpool playing Sly Cooper. And that's basically the ideal, is that Styx is a fourth wall breaking character that has stealth moves and stuff like that. And although it's not as fluid as Sly Cooper would be, it's still very impressive in my personal opinion, and I absolutely love the game. It's charming, it's fun, it's interesting, and it's just really good. I do enjoy them, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. Even if you're not a fan of stealth games, chances are you'll actually step into this one and actually have a good time with it. And since these are short games and inexpensive technically, I know I technically paid like $24 for the second one, and then I downloaded the first one, which is only available digitally on the PlayStation 4. I know it had a physical version on PC, but they're readily cheap. They're like $16, so it's not that expensive. So it's not an expensive series to get into. And despite how short they are, they're actually really fun. So, in my personal opinion, based on the quality that you see and based on the pricing alone, I give these a solid 5 out of 5. You definitely need to try these out, and they're really entertaining. I know some people may not think that these are highly reviewed games and stuff like that. There are a few little tidbits here and there that make it not that great. But in my personal opinion, based on the price and based on how fun these games are, I would recommend it to anyone. Even if you're not a stealth fan, chances are you'll find some fun out of this game. It takes a little bit, but once you finally get used to the gameplay and get used to the environments, you could enjoy the game easily. I guarantee it. So definitely check into it. And chances are, if you're like me, you'll be playing these games before the third one even comes out. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. This is BlackCross signing off. Catch you guys later.